Hello everybody, welcome to a very sunny St. Louis. It's quite warm out today and we've got a lot to do, so let me show you what's going on. Here in the maids hall, I have basically all of the beadboard stripped. Today is Saturday and it took me since Monday to actually get in between these boards stripped. And the reason why it's so hard is because these are all tongue and groove, beadboard of course. And the gaps in some of the places have widened and some of them are more narrow. You know, it varies all over the place because it's old and things have shifted. And I don't want to correct any of that because I like the look of it. It looks nice. However, because the actual tongues are really rough, like they were never finished, they were never sanded. You know, the idea is they were to be rough. You would never see them. But because they're rough, they really like to hold paint. And it has been a challenge, an absolute headache nightmare trying to get them out of there. So I have done basically the best I can, and we're done on this side up here, and we're done on this side. Now the back side, I still have a little bit more work to do, probably, if you can believe it, another day of stripping. I have up here, that's not that bad. That's okay, that's fairly easy to fix. But, I mean, you guys won't even be able to see it, but the thing is, I know it's there, and that's what bugs me. It's above the door here, in the grooves I have, or in the beads, I have paint still in there, so I've got to get that out. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on, but I'm not going to worry about that today. What I'm going to do instead is, because I have this surface clean on this side of the corner, and everything on that side of the wall done, I'm going to go ahead and put some shellac on it. Now I know I should probably have everything done first, but it's been all week and I want to have something to show for you guys. I would have set up time lapses while I was stripping this stuff, but it's so time consuming and you guys can't really see it on the time lapses, so it's not good visually or anything like that. So I decided against it. You know, I do what I can, but sometimes there's going to be work that I have to do here that isn't good camera work. You know, it's just time-consuming, tedious stuff. But either way, I'll be excited to get some results. So it should be really fun. So yeah, let's get into it. Also, really quickly, yes, why am I shellacking that while the rest of the room is not done? It's because I can cover that entire beadboard wall in plastic and not have to worry about dropping plaster or paint or anything else on it. It's in the middle of the room, so it's easy to kind of cordon off. And also for me, it's good, and for you guys, it's good to see something be complete. It helps, you know, mentally to see that one thing in the middle of the room that's like, oh wow, it shines, it's beautiful. And it just gets me more motivated to keep going. Okay, now I gotta get this part done. Now I can get this part done, and things start shining around it as well as it shines. So that's my goal, that's my plan, that's my reasoning, and yeah, so without further ado, enjoy the time lapse. I want to show you guys a few other little things before we get to the conclusion of the stairwell. So let me show you the few other little things I've been picking at this week, just as little experiments. So let's do that. So first thing I want to show you guys is this right here. It's this little plaster, I don't exactly know what you would call it, column, corbel, something like that. And it has an archway here in this bedroom, all the way over the top to the other side, and there's another one over there, right? But I wanted to show you guys the details of this one and how when people paint it over the years, it gets caked and caked and caked and caked. Basically meaning I need to strip these if I want to bring the detail out. So I started doing that a little bit. So here on the other side of the archway, you can see that there's actually a lot more detail in these things. Really sharp, straight lines and really just beautiful stuff. Now, of course, this is an experiment with my Coopers. The only problem I have with the Coopers in this particular application is that plaster's thirsty. It's consistently thirsty. It will drink water like crazy. So that's a problem for the Coopers being so thin, it will just essentially evaporate it almost immediately. I've never seen my stripper dry so quickly. And of course, when it dries, the paint sticks again. So as much as I love my stripper, it's just not great for this application. It took way too much to do this little tiny bit. So I'm gonna be looking at a better, I believe Peel Away is the name, where I can coat this in a really thick paste, let it sit for a day, cover it in paper, and then come back, pull the paper off, and it should pull most of this off, and I should be able to get the rest of that out of there. And why that's important is because not only am I missing details in these little features, but also my medallions. My medallions, I mean, they're missing a lot of detail. There's a lot more meets the eye to the medallions, and simply put, you just can't see it, especially in the two parlors downstairs. Also, one thing I want to show you guys really quickly is the stairwell here, and the fact that I have been starting to kind of clean off some of the wood in here, just here on the handrail. As you see, this is a lot lighter. And this is just me taking some Denature alcohol, a little bit of steel wool, and just rubbing this down. I'm just trying to get all the dirt and grime off, a few top layers of shellac, and I'm gonna re-shellac all this. But you can see, you know, obviously what the shellac will do color-wise once I put it all back on there. But imagine it being clean and beautiful, kind of like the stairwell looks. But this is really easy. This took 15 minutes because shellac just straight melts in the alcohol and you just rub it away, essentially. So cleaning up the stairwell and all of the other woodwork in the house is really going to be easy in comparison, at least, to the stripping of the paint. I use, like I said, zero stripper on this. It makes it a lot cheaper. It's really easy. Shellac is an awesome material to handle if you have to refurbish anything like this. So I want to share that with you guys real quick. I think it looks not great right now, but it will later. But just taking that stuff off, pretty easy. So the task at hand is complete. Let me show you guys what we're working with. So as you can see, it came out beautiful. Considering what was under all that paint, I mean, it's really nice. I'm quite happy with it. So, I mean, depending on where you're looking at it or anything like that, like, it just shines. It's quite reflective. Not super, it's not quite like a mirror, but you can see like it's reflecting the floor right there in that line. That's just the reflection of the floor, and yeah, it looks pretty good. Quite happy with it. I'm sure Mr. Brown would be quite happy with it. It's back to looking probably close to what it looked like the day it was built. Of course, you know, a little beat up. There are chips and bumps and, you know, bits of wood fill. Like right here's a little bit of wood fill. There's a nice little bump that somebody gave it right here at some point that's pretty deep. But, you know, you want to keep those things because, you know, who knows what happened. Maybe the maid pushed something in the way right there and, you know, it knocked it and, you know, that's the mark it left. I mean, you know, who's to say, but I think it's pretty cool that, you know, it has that, and yeah, it's looking nice. And, you know, these things, they take a lot of work to buff all this out and to get it all cleaned up, but I mean, once it's there, and then the feel, like the way it feels is so nice. Show you looking down this way, you can kind of see it really shine. And of course the big difference before I did anything, because this is just raw wood again, and then the shellac and the wax and the way it looks. And of course I do have to do all of this still, and it is a lot, and I am not 100% done with the stripping yet. As I mentioned, there's some in the grooves up here and a little bit down here at the bottom of the stairs right here, and then there's this piece here. So I've got to finish all of these off. However, that won't be next week's project. Next week I will get all of my windows in, and so I'm going to start that. We're going to start in the library. I'm going to do some things that you shouldn't probably do at home. And we'll get some new windows in. So that's the plan for next week. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode, and yeah, we'll see you guys all next week. Take care. Bye-bye.